A small force of 313 stood against an army 3 times its size. What happened next would change history forever. In the second year of the Hijri calendar, tensions between the Muslims of Medina and the Quraysh of Mecca reached a boiling point. The Quraysh, who had long persecuted the followers of Prophet Muhammad, had forced them to leave their homeland and migrate to Medina. But even after the migration, the Quraysh were not content. The conflict reached a turning point when a large Quraysh trade caravan, led by Abu Sufyan, was returning from Syria, carrying great wealth. The Muslims, having left behind all their possessions in Mecca, saw an opportunity to reclaim what was rightfully theirs. The Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions set out with the intention of intercepting the caravan. However, Abu Sufyan, realizing the danger, sent word to Mecca for reinforcements. The Quraysh responded swiftly, raising an army of over 1,000 warriors, including many of their finest fighters. They marched toward Badr, determined to crush the Muslims once and for all. The two forces met on the 17th of Ramadan in the year 624 CE. The battlefield of Badr, with its wells and strategic positioning, became the stage for a battle that would decide the future of Islam. The Muslim army was significantly smaller, but their faith was unshaken. The Prophet, after arranging the ranks, raised his hands in supplication, asking for divine help, and his prayer was answered. The battle began with the traditional Arabian custom of single combat. 3 warriors from the Quraysh stepped forward, and 3 from the Muslims met them in battle. The duels ended swiftly, with the Muslims emerging victorious, sending a wave of fear through the Quraysh ranks. Then, the full-scale battle erupted. The Quraysh, relying on their numbers and experience, launched their attack, but the Muslims fought with unmatched determination. The Prophet encouraged his companions, reminding them that victory was near. As the battle raged on, an unseen force seemed to aid the Muslims. The Quran later confirmed that angels descended onto the battlefield, striking fear into the hearts of the enemy. The Quraysh, despite their overwhelming advantage, began to falter. Their strongest warriors, including Abu Jahl, one of Islam's fiercest enemies, fell in combat. Chaos spread through their ranks, and soon they were in full retreat, leaving behind their dead and wounded. The Quraysh suffered a humiliating defeat, with 70 of their men killed, including many of their leaders, and another 70 captured as prisoners of war. The Muslims, despite their victory, had lost 14 of their own, who were remembered as martyrs. This battle was more than just a military victory. It was a declaration that Islam had survived its greatest challenge yet. The prisoners taken by the Muslims were treated with unexpected mercy. Some were released upon payment of ransom, while others were freed in exchange for teaching literacy to the people of Medina. This act of compassion stood in stark contrast to the cruelty the Muslims had endured at the hands of the Quraysh. 1 year later, the Quraysh would return, this time with an even larger army, determined to reclaim their honor and crush the Muslims once and for all. The stage was set for the next great battle, Uhud. Would the Muslims, now facing an army of 3,000, withstand the coming storm?